NBA 2K rating recap for February 24th, 2026. 11 games on this Tuesday night, lots of pivotal returns. We're going to start off in Philadelphia, where the 76ers got a win over the Pacers 135 to 114. They moved to 32 and 26 on the season. Joel Embiid made his return to the lineup, had 27 points in 26 minutes. First game for him since the All-Star break. Tyrese Maxey 32, 9, and 8. VJ Edgecombe shot the ball really well, 23 points, 9 of 13. Sixers overall shot 58% against the non-existent defense of Indiana. Pacers, they dropped to an NBA worst 15 and 44. Pascal Siakam was out with currently what's being deemed as a sprained wrist. He previously missed action for having a hamstring injury, had personal reasons the other day. Pacers are just like making up injuries that they're going to put Siakam out with after he played most of the season. Andrew Nembhard and Micah Potter each had 23 to lead the way. Kobe Brown had 9 and 10 in 30 minutes. He's going to get a lot of time down the stretch as they continue to hold out Siakam. Quentin Jackson also 15 points in 28 minutes. Aaron Nesmith has been out with a sprained ankle. Going over to Atlanta. Huge news there. They did beat the Wizards 119 and 98. They're moving to 29 and 31 on the season. But Jalen Johnson, he actually left this game after only 6 minutes due to a hip flexor. So green light for the return of Jonathan Kuminga, making his debut with the Atlanta Hawks. Had 27 points in 25 minutes. His shooting line for this game, 9 of 12 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. So shot the ball really well in this one, doing it mostly from the corners. Otherwise, a lot of his offense was in transition. Washington is just not really a serious team. Great start for him in Atlanta, but let's see it against a real team. But still, really good to see Kuminga back in action. Golden State maybe feels a little bit nervous as they're not really getting anything out of Kristaps Porzingis at the current moment. A little bit of vindication right now for Kuminga. Zachary Risache, his second game off the bench, 9 points, 9 rebounds, going against second units, probably ideal for him. Going against teams like the Wizards, also probably ideal for him. Let's see him do it against a real squad. Washington, I mean, not really much else to say. They're not even playing their main rookies and young players more than like 25 minutes right now. Will Riley led them in scoring with 18 points on 7 of 8 from the field in what was another blowout loss. Let's just hop on over to Dallas. They got their second straight win, 123 to 114 over the Brooklyn Nets. They're 21 and 36 now. Najee Marshall had 21 points, 7 assists. I did change his position over to point guard as it just kind of makes sense to have somebody, since Kyrie is out for the year, somebody's got to be another point guard on this team. Chris Middleton, he's actually been starting at the small forward with Cooper Flagg sidelined. So he had 6 points, though, only 12 minutes left this game with a shoulder stinger. So this probably means that we'll have, they'll probably start Brandon Williams or Tyus Jones again. But Marvin Bagley, 22 points, 10 of 13 from the field in 20 minutes. And I guess actually before we head off of Dallas, I did want to touch on Middleton. Dallas is giving him the option of whether or not he wants to get a buyout or not. They're okay with either. They'll honor whatever his wishes are that was put out there, but they perhaps did let him know that they are going to be interested in bringing in shooting during the offseason, and he would be one of those guys who qualifies. So it is worth noting that he is starting right now and playing pretty well. That does decrease the odds of him seeking a buyout, I would think. Let's go on over to the Brooklyn Nets, who they lost this game, but they're not, unlike the Pacers and other teams, they're not holding out their guys right now. Michael Porter Jr. had 26 points, Noah Clowney 22, Nick Claxton had 16. They just aren't very good aside from those guys. They have a rookie starting backcourt, Traore and Yegor Doman. They combined for 11 points, 5 of 18 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3. So they are not going to have it going every game. probably struggling against a veteran team like Dallas for sure. Going over to the Oklahoma City Thunder, they got their 45th win of the season, 116-107 over the Toronto Raptors. Still continuing to win without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Jalen Williams. Cason Wallace, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 11 of 16 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. Man, he could start at the 1, the 2, the 3. It doesn't matter with him. Isaiah Joe, 22 points, 6 of 11 from 3. He's really held things down offensively. Alex Caruso had 16 points in this one. The bench of this team just continues to outplay other playoff teams. Toronto just didn't really have a chance in this one. RJ Barrett led the way for them with 21. Jakob Poeltl out again with his troublesome back. So once again, they are a little short-handed in the front court. Going over to Cleveland, they moved to 37-22. Huge win over the Knicks, 109-94. They're now tied with the Knicks for the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. Although the Knicks do have the tiebreaker for they won the season series 3-1. So the Cavs were just avoiding a sweep here with the win over the Knicks. Donovan Mitchell, though, 23 points, 11 of 14 from the free throw line. James Harden, he didn't play in the prior losses, so they are a new look squad with him around. He had 20 points, 8 of 18 from the field. No free throw attempts in this one, kind of interestingly. But Jarrett Allen, another strong double-double. He's been better than Evan Mobley over the last month or so, I would say. 19 points, 10 rebounds. They just ground the Knicks out of this game. Jalen Brunson for the Knicks, he had 20, but on only 6 of 19 from the field. Karl-Anthony Towns, 14 points. He was 5 of 5 from the field, but 5 turnovers, so sloppy game overall. Mitchell Robinson, 11 points, 15 rebounds, 8 of them offensive in 19 minutes. He's been really good against the Cleveland Cavaliers dating back to the playoffs a couple of years ago. But yeah, OG Anunoby has not shot the ball well since returning from injury. And Mikal Bridges also has been shooting it poorly as well, so I'm probably going to drop those guys maybe a point or so. I think Josh Hart probably too. He hasn't done much of late. Let's go on over to the Hornets. They got a massive win over the Bulls, 131-99. They're now 28-31 on the season, trying to chase down the Hawks for 9th place right now. Kobe White made his Hornets debut against his former team in the Bulls. Had 10 points in 16 minutes off the bench. Mikal Bridges and Moussa Diabate, they both made their returns from suspension, and Hornets were led by Brandon Miller with 23, and then Con Knibble with 21. Con building on his likely Rookie of the Year campaign. Chicago, they got their 10th straight loss of the season. They dropped to 24-35 on the year, so they a little bit too late to really push too hard in the lottery standings, but they are tanking finally. A little bit of injury news is we know Jaden Ivey's out with knee soreness. It turns out that Anthony Simons has been dealing with a left hand fracture since training camp with Boston that he's essentially been playing through. So it helps explain his erratic play this year, starting off with the Celtics earlier in the year. So right now they're holding him out. It was, I believe he had a sprained wrist, and then this was kind of discovered. So they're going to hold him out for a little bit, and it does clear out the guard glut at the moment for the Bulls. Worth noting that Jalen Smith was also out for this one, so Patrick Williams moved into the starting lineup, and Gerson Yabusele started at the 5. Midas Buzelis, that means, continued to play at the 3, where he had 32 points on 13 of 19 shooting, 6 of 11 from 3. Let's go on over to the Bucks. They got a win over the Miami Heat, 128-117. They're now 25-31 on the season, in 11th place in the Eastern Conference, still trailing the Hornets by about 3 games for that final play-in spot. Kevin Porter Jr. led the way with 32 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Ryan Rollins and Bobby Portis chipping in 21 points each. Cam Thomas off night for him. He's been on, he's not the most consistent player in the world. 6 points, 2 for 10 from the field in 20 minutes. Ousmane Dieng continues to play well off the bench, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 for 3 from 3. Has really stepped into the Milwaukee rotation and done well. Jericho Sims had a massive line also in this one, completely outplaying Colel Ware, much to the chagrin of one Eric Spoelstra. Heat, they dropped to 31 and 28, fall back down to the 8th seed. Norm Powell led the way with 26 points, but had no assists with 6 turnovers. Uncharacteristic game for him. And then Tyler Hero struggled with his shot in this one, 14 points, 5 of 17 from the field in 26 minutes off the bench, but he was a minus 20 in this one, so not too effective. New Orleans Pelicans, they got a win over the Warriors, 113 to 109, 17 and 42 now on the season. They moved ahead of the Wizards in the standings, so they're now 5th in the lottery. Washington now is 4th. Again, it's worth noting because Washington has a top 8 protected pick that they were not really in any danger of actually losing. But the Pelicans, they do not have their pick, so they have no incentive to actually tank. So all those lottery teams that are tanking are hoping that New Orleans can string some wins together, which they are 7-9 in their last 16. So they actually have been doing that. They're playing all their guys. Zion has played like 31 consecutive games, I believe, and not rather than shutting down DeJounte Murray for the season, as like say Dallas did with Kyrie Irving, he made his return from the torn Achilles tonight, and he actually started in this game. 13 points, 3 assists, 5 turnovers, so he's still finding his footing, but played 25 minutes, was reasonably effective. Derek Queen surprisingly moved to the bench with Murray back. He came off the bench for the first time since November 14th. Had 8 points on 4 of 13 shooting, so he wasn't terribly effective. He really hasn't been all that great next to Zion. Obviously, it's kind of like a changing of the guard in New Orleans. They're going to have to trade Zion, I think, during the offseason as, Derek Queen, the fit between those two guys is never really going to work. There's just not going to really be enough shooting. Although it is worth noting that not enough shooting and not enough defense, I guess, is the main issue. Because they did start also DeAndre Jordan in this game. He started his second consecutive game. He had 6 points, 8 rebounds, 23 minutes. Only his 4th game of the season. He played twice back in October, didn't play at all for 3 months, and now has started the last 2 games. So I was not expecting to have to emergency edit DeAndre Jordan in the year 2026, but here we are. 2K, it feels like, hasn't touched him in a decade. Some of his attributes that they have for him are a 92 stamina rating, 83 vertical when he's 37 years old, 65 speed rating. So they haven't touched his athleticism really at all in the last decade, which is kind of silly. So I did tweak his ratings, and actually I have all the standard contract players now edited on the Pelicans as well. Zion, for what it's worth, just to finish off the Pels, he led the way with 26 in this one, beating the Warriors. Again, Warriors dropped to 30 and 28. Again, they are without Curry, so they're just trying to hold on. Fortunately, the teams they're not going to fall any out of the play-in or anything like that, because all the teams under 10th have all let go of the rope, like Dallas and Memphis. So all these teams that are in the 7-8 range are more or less going to be in that 7-8 range. There's a pretty big gap between, like the Warriors and Suns right now are very short-handed. So right now they're going to fall out of, they're not going to keep winning games, and it's going to be hard for them to catch teams like the Lakers, who are currently the 6th seed, who are already they have like a 5-game lead on Golden State, Phoenix, etc. So yeah, Golden State, they're just hanging out, jockeying for position with Phoenix and Portland. DeAnthony Melton, he led the way with 28 points. Moses Moody had 24. Guy Santos, 15, 12, and 4 with 2 steals and 3 blocks. He's been awesome. And then Pajemski has been on a tear over the last 2 games, doubled with 16 points and 15 rebounds off the bench in 32 minutes. But Just overall, not a lot of half-court offense being generated by this team. Kristaps Porzingis is dealing with his illness once again, so we'll see, if how much he's actually able to contribute. Again, Jonathan Kuminga had 27 points for the Hawks in this one. They probably could use Kuminga's scoring right now, but he just wasn't really able to get along with Steve Kerr at the end of the day. So fresh start for Kuminga, and we'll see what he's able to do for his new team and what Golden State's able to do without him. Boston Celtics, they moved to 37-19 on the season, 97-81 over those Phoenix Suns we were just talking about. The fourth straight win for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown sat this one out. They could afford to rest him versus the ailing Suns. Ron Harper Jr. got a start. He had 8 points, 4 offensive rebounds, played 30 minutes in this one. He's probably going to end up on a standard contract by the end of the season. Celtics, they just killed the Suns in this one. Grabbed 22 offensive rebounds, out-rebounded the Suns overall, 61-34. Neemias Queta had 14 and 13. Baylor Shireman as a shooting guard, 11 points, 11 rebounds. Derek White led the way with 22, 8 and 8 in this one. Peyton Pritchard shot 2 for 13 from the field in this one, but didn't even matter because Phoenix had basically nothing going offensively. They dropped to 33 and 25. They are in trouble offensively without Booker or Brooks. Mark Williams, only 2 points, 1 of 3 from the field, 5 rebounds, 18 minutes. I need to see if there's something going on with him. I have a feeling that something might be Jalen Green, who had 13 points on 5 of 18 shooting, 1 for 8 from 3, 26 minutes. Again, 18 shots in 26 minutes versus 3 shots from Mark Williams in 18 minutes. He's got to get the big man more involved. Obviously, Boston, a great defensive team. They probably defended Williams on post-entry passes really well, and we're probably very content to let Jalen Green try and beat them. But yeah, he's got to do a better job of getting everybody else involved. Colin Gillespie led the way with 15 points. Dylan Brooks, we have an official diagnosis. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with his broken hand. Worth noting that the play-in tournament is in 7 weeks or so, so he'd be coming back most likely just before the play-in starts. And then Jordan Goodwin is going to be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks with his calf injury. Going over to Minnesota, they got a nice win over the Portland Trailblazers, 124-121. They're now 36 and 23 on the season. In 5th place, a game ahead of the Lakers and a half game behind the Nuggets. So they are trying to push really up. They're trying to get up to 3 so that they can avoid Oklahoma City until the conference finals, if necessary. Obviously, in that 6, they don't want to end up in that 6 bracket and not have to play Houston. I would say in the not having home court. You just want to skip past the 4-5 bracket and see if they can go to 3. I think. And then play the Lakers again in rematching there. So that would be ideal for Minnesota. Edwards, he led the way with 34. McDaniels, 29. Gobert, 10 and 19 in his return from suspension. Portland, they dropped to 28 and 31. Denny Avdia is still out with his nagging back injury. Shaedon Sharpe, he, like Dylan Brooks, he might be out for the season. He's got a stress fracture in his left fibula that was uncovered. So he's going to be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. So again, reevaluated doesn't mean he's going to be back in 4 weeks, 4 to 6. It means he's going to be reevaluated, and then they're going to figure out what the plan for the return is. So, I mean, it sounds like he might be out for the rest of the year. And obviously it depends on what they do in the play-in tournament. Maybe he'd come back during the playoffs or something. So kind of sucks because he'd had a pretty good year so far. And they're going to need him down the stretch with Denny Avdia banged up right now. Drew Holiday, he had 22 points to lead the way. And I speculated that Scoot Henderson might start, but they do want to stagger him and Drew since they don't really have another point guard on the roster. So Chris Murray actually moved into the starting lineup. And Scoot, he was really good in this game. I need to get his rating up. 19 points in 29 minutes of action for him. Orlando, finishing out with them. They beat the Lakers 110 to 109. Really close game. They're now 31 and 26. They move back ahead of Miami for the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. Paolo Banchero had a huge game, 36 points. Desmond Bane with 22. Wendell Carter Jr. with 20 and 11. LA Lakers, they dropped to 6th with this loss. 34 and 23 on the season. Luka Doncic near triple-double, 22, 9, and 15, but 22 points, only 8 of 24 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3, and a ghastly 4 of 9 from the free throw line. Again, missed 5 free throws in a game that they lost by 1 point, so that's definitely on him. LeBron, 21, 6, and 4 in this one. Austin Reeves with 18. DeAndre Ayton, 21 and 13, one of his better games on the season. We've got 6 games tomorrow. It's going to be another potential NBA Finals matchup with Detroit going up against OKC. Of course, OKC still shorthanded, so not exactly what that matchup will look like if it occurs. We've got San Antonio against Toronto, Golden State up against Memphis, Sacramento, the red-hot Sacramento Kings against the Houston Rockets, Cavs versus Bucks, and then Nuggets versus Celtics. So another nice slate of games. With only 6 as opposed to 11, I might get a chance to review a couple more ratings. But yeah, my big goal for the day was just to finish off the Pels, which I did. So I've got only like 6 more teams that I have to really work on. Golden State, Portland, Minnie, Phoenix, Houston, and Toronto are like the main 6 that I got to bang out. So I will be, I'll just be kind of methodically knocking out random players across those teams. And then if something comes up, like a big game or something like that, I will definitely want to knock out the rest of that team and just to kind of showcase them. So that's my plan for right now. There's like 63 standard contract players that I have yet to edit so far. And then like 9 starters, I believe. Let me just get the exact figure on that. 64 standard contract players I still need to edit. Again, most of those guys are on those 6 aforementioned teams. And most of those, a lot of those guys are guys like, what's his name? I'm looking for the Kings. Doug McDermott is very low on my edit priority list. Ditto for like Drew Eubanks. Ditto for Jet Howard. Ditto for Lakers like Maxi Kleba. Yeah, the Nets, Jalen Wilson. These are guys that are like the 13th man on the roster. There are some higher quality players that I need to get to first that make up that 64. So we are just knocking out the rest of the league with again 6 or 7 weeks left in the regular season. So as long as I do about like 10 of those guys per week, I should be able to get the entire roster done by the end of the year. Thanks again for sticking with me this year. It's been a really fun and interesting year. So yeah, check me out tomorrow as we break down those 6 games. I'll see you then. Peace.